Welcome back to the morning show. It's time for the Wise Guy on Wise Guy Wednesday, and our resident Wise Guy, Matt Sellen, is here with some friends, Pete and Jamie, and some other friends. Some great big bugs. And so, what are we doing with bugs today?
Well, every year they have an insect fear film festival. The entomology department, together with the film department, I suppose, or there's some cooperation there. And so this year, the theme of this film festival is, giant mantids, like mantas. Well, you guys can explain it all.
There's a movie called Mantas.
That's right, and so they brought some little tiny mantas, and they brought some bigger one that you'll see here in a second. And then I just wanted to explain real quick why these things really can't get to be 250 feet big, because that's what is in this movie.
I think everybody's got a certain amount of fear. I remember when I was a kid, there was a movie called Tarantula. It just scared me to death. And I remember it was the spider crawled out of the TV screen. I ran in the bedroom to warn my mother that it was coming. So tell us about some of these insects you've got here. Not all insects. We've got a spider. What's going on?
Yeah, sure. We've got a big tarantula here, and we also brought some Madagascar hissing cockroaches, which people are familiar with.
And we'll play with those when we come back in the next segment, because those we can take out and they're old favorites, and they can crawl into your pocket.
Every one of these insects that we've got here on the table has been involved in a movie at some point or another. There's even been giant cockroach movies.
Yeah, there's plenty of fear surrounding all these.
So what's the point of the festival then? Just to calm people's fears, just to kind of have a good time with it, or?
Yeah, sure, and to sort of educate people about insects and how they impact our society and how we relate to them, really.
Okay. And you're saying there's no such thing as a 250-foot tarantula?
Right, and it's simply because these guys, if you make something twice as big, I just did this with these two balloons. This balloon is twice as big as this one if you just measure how high it is. But if you were to weigh it, you would find that this one weighs 8 times more than this one does.
So there's an exponential increase in weight.
It's sort of geometric, and so what happens is, if you imagine this is the leg of some bug, this straw, and that's sort of how they work, because they are exoskeletons. Then this thing can support the weight of that real easy. If you make it twice as big, we'll stick sort of 2 straws in here. You'll see that thing just is so heavy that it just sort of breaks. And so if you had a 250-foot mantis climbing up a building, it would probably just sort of mush and collapse in on itself.
Once again, you're showing us how physics is involved in everything.
Well, yeah.
So there is a physics lesson. There's a limit to how big an insect could actually get.
Exactly right, and there's other reasons for it too, about getting oxygen into all the cells and expelling, other things from the body and so on. So these guys should show you before the segment ends here. They have little mantids over here, and they have bigger ones. So Jamie can explain what's going on with that.
These are tiny little praying mantises in here.
Yep, and should I flip this one over? And we've got a bigger mantid here, and she has laid an egg sac here. You might be able to see. Oh, so we'll have a bunch of
interesting coloring on that one.
Yeah, it's called an Egyptian flower mantid. And yeah, so we should have a bunch of babies of that soon.
Yeah. Now, in the summertime in central Illinois, we see some pretty good-sized praying mantises. I mean, up to 8, 9, 10 inches long. Is that about the upper limit of their size?
That's one of the biggest ones. They also get really big in the tropics, but that's definitely the biggest one that we get around here. Okay. That's actually called the Chinese praying mantis. It was introduced from China about 100 years ago. Okay,
we'll be back in our next segment with the Wise Guy with more insect fun. And obviously the spider's not an insect, but I'm just kind of lumping him in right now. We'll have more on the Insect Fear Film Festival and more science to explain how it works from Matt Sellen. If you've got a question for the Wise Guy, you can email it to themorningshow at wcia.com, or you can go directly to his website. It's the Wise Guy online, www.wiseguy.net.